All right, so I thought this was a good story, something different to talk about, and did want to show you these before we get into the video. These are the Mountain House meals that I'm talking about. So this is buffalo style chicken mac and cheese, and see, I can recommend these. I don't get paid or anything, but I mean, because I eat these when I go backpacking, and I'm hoping if I get better, I'm going to be doing some more backpacking. And this is beef stroganoff with noodles. My favorite is the stew, the beef stew. That's I got a bunch of those, but you know, you can only eat so much of one thing. So let's define this. Well, let's get into the video first, and then I want to get into what Kabuki theater is.
Folks, so take a look at this from the Blaze Media. Report: Pelosi and Democrat leadership played a critical role in creating Capitol security plan that failed during January 6th protest. A group of House Republicans released a damning counter-report on Wednesday detailing key insights ignored in the narrative carefully constructed by Democrat-led January 6th Select Committee concerning the Capitol protest in 2021. The 141-page report penned by 5 Republicans, originally nominated to sit on the House January 6th Select Committee, reveal how House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office and the Democrat leadership were closely involved in security decisions in the lead-up to and on January 6, 2021, and noted that the reason why the Capitol was ultimately left unprepared on the day of the protests. You know, we've been talking a whole lot about psyops. Well, the events of January 6th might be one of the biggest. You know, if you're being honest and asking the...
Okay, I can't borrow too much from his channel. That's the liberal hive mind on YouTube. I love watching the guy. He does like 3 videos a day. I don't even know how that's possible, and they're very well done. You know, mine are just me sitting in a chair talking. But so I wanted to get into just what Kabuki theater is, and that's Kabuki if you ever want to look it up. So Kabuki is a form of classical theater in Japan known for its elaborate costumes and dynamic acting. The phrases kabuki theater, kabuki dance, or kabuki play are sometimes used in political discourse to describe an event characterized more by showmanship than by content. I'm going to read just a little more. It's commonly derived, the word kabuki, and then it gets into... So here we go. American political pundits began to describe the political showmanship and posturing as kabuki in the early 1960s, with one early instance in 1962 characterizing President Kennedy's New Frontier policy as financial kabuki, making for a colorful, carefree sight. So there you go. That's what Kabuki theater is. And the day of January 6th, I was on Parler before they nuked it, and I was telling everybody it was a setup. I said, this is a setup. I said, no way that you get a bunch of rednecks going into the White House, into the Capitol building, unless there was no security. And if you go to Washington, D.C., look at the security. I mean, my God, you can't go you can't even get near the White House, you know. So the fact that there was no security was a real huge red flag that came up. And of course, since then, you know, there's been a lot of stuff that's come out. I know that most people don't follow everything, but you know, and by the way, just watch this video on the liberal hive mind. But the first thing that we know is, you know, Ray Epps. We know that the FBI was embedded with the January 6th protesters. Many say that they were egging them on. Where is Ray Epps? And they say that he was a FBI operative. He disappeared after January 6th, amazingly, because everybody else went to jail. And he was one of the main instigators if you watch the videos. So that's, you know, that would be a good question. The second thing that we know for sure, because the documents have come out, is that the FBI knew in advance that there was potential for, you know, a riot to take place. And so if they warned Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats that, you know, there was potential for that, they would have beefed up the security, right? We also know for a fact now, because the documents have been released, that President Trump offered the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, and the mayor of Washington, D.C., I can't remember her name, but he offered them the National Guard troops, 1,000 troops to secure the area or the Capitol building, and that was refused. That's a given. So why would you do that? Why on earth, when you know that, you know, thousands and thousands of people are coming for a massive protest, You know, and of course the FBI now knows that, you know, and you've been warned that there could be some shenanigans that might take place, and yet you do nothing. The other thing, and the videos haven't been released, is one side of the Capitol building. We know for a fact that the Capitol Police, because those doors they're sealed shut. You can't just open, I mean, you just don't go walking into the Capitol building, but so we know for a fact now that the Capitol Police actually opened the doors and invited people inside. Of course, the riot actually took place on the other side of the Capitol building, so we know that. So, and then of course, you know, when the January 6th committee was set up, there was nothing but Trump haters on that whole thing. And if you watched everything that came out of that whole committee, was all Kabuki theater. I mean, there was nothing, you know, no smoking gun, no collusion. Even the FBI, and that's another thing that we know for a fact, is the FBI said in all their investigations, they found no evidence whatsoever that there was anything planned for that day, except maybe by the FBI. If you want to believe things. What else took place on that day? Oh, the other thing that was very interesting is that Nancy Pelosi's daughter was there to make a documentary video of January 6th. And of course, you know, it shows, like I said, Kabuki theater. She's got her mom, and of course she had that mask on. I love watching her in that mask. And because, man, I tell you what, Nancy Pelosi, whew, hard on the eyes. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to be mean. But so why was her daughter there with a camera to film Nancy Pelosi running around the Capitol building saying, and then, you know, filmed her making a phone call saying they're going to be in the building for 5 days? No way they're going to be in the building 5 days. It was all Kabuki theater, you know. I mean, you know, I think they were out of the building within hours, you know, because if you send in the National Guard or police, you know, they're going to clear that building fairly quickly. And then, of course, another thing that we know for sure is that nobody died that day except for Angela Babbitt. She was shot by a Capitol Police officer who we also know he was actually promoted and praised and never went to jail. I don't know if he's still working for the Capitol Police, but I thought that I watched the video. There was no need for him to shoot her. The other people, you'll hear the Democrats say that 5 people died that day. Yes, some other people died, but they've been ruled as natural causes. So like I said, Kabuki theater, right? And then, of course, to term it as the worst event since 9/11, that does a disservice, in my mind, to the victims of September 11th. I mean, 3,000 people died. The scenes were horrible. People jumping out of burning windows. Nothing like that took place at the Capitol. It was all Kabuki theater. That's what I'm telling you. It was a setup. And that's what we're starting to find out. And that's why I wanted to do this video. So definitely go over, because it's coming out now, you know, that the Democrats allowed it to all happen. They knew it was going to happen because the FBI told them it was going to happen. They wanted this, and so now they can use this to bludgeon the Republicans over the head year after year to say, you know, well, what about January 6th? So now you're going to see all the hype coming up to January 6th. But I just wanted to say, I want you to pay attention to this report that just came out by the House Republicans. It's a detailed report, and they describe everything that took place. And then the other thing that I want you to say about Kabuki theater is they won't release the videotapes. So if it was such a horrible event, you know, the only videotapes that we get to see are just the bad parts, you know, where people were pushing against the Capitol Police and Angela Babbitt getting shot. I'm not even sure that was a released tape. I think that might have been somebody with a cell phone. So if it was this horrible event, why not release the videotapes? Why are the Democrats holding on to the videotapes? Kabuki theater, right? They don't want you to see the videotapes. I mean, if you're sitting there watching videotape of somebody milling around, and that's another thing. From what I understand, some of the people actually, you know, they stayed within the lines. That was crazy. And then some of them actually did pick up a few objects, but from what I understand, they put them back where they got them from. And then, of course, now we've got political prisoners that are sitting in jail for without a trial for, good Lord, I mean, it's been over 2 years. And I never thought I'd see that in the United States, political prisoners, but that's what they are. So anyway, Kabuki theater, right? They don't want to let them out because then they'll tell their stories about what they were doing on January 6th. I have seen a couple of people talk about it. There was one guy, he was saying, you know, he said, well, what I did was wrong. He says, but I didn't think, you know, it ruined us. I mean, they destroyed him. I mean, the Democrats are vindictive. I will give them credit, man. When they get out, when you get on their radar, they're going after you with both barrels loaded. And that's why I think the Republicans are scared of them. You know, I would be. I am. You know, I'm doing these videos. I'm just trying to tell you the facts that have come out as I know them. Okay, that's it. Peace out, stay free, and it's good to live in the free state of Florida. I just wanted to warn you that you're going to see a bunch more Kabuki theater all in the build up to January the 6th, which was a nothing burger of an event. And that was another thing I pointed out in previous videos. If you're going to have an insurrection, okay, you're going to have guns, and basically I would have lined up all the little Capitol Police officers with a tank in front of the building and just blown them all away. That didn't happen. There was no guns. Kabuki theater, right? No tanks rolling down the street. No military coup. You know, I don't see how people buy into this thing, but I guess there's a lot of, well, I want to just say not too bright people that buy into this Kabuki theater, but that's just my opinion. Leave a comment below. What do you think? Do you think that that was the biggest insurrection in the history of the world where nobody had a gun and no tanks, no armored vehicles, no nothing? Let me know. And it's good to live in the free state of Florida.